What's up, everybody? Y'all know what time it is. We have an amazing tech testimony today where she literally just broke into the tech industry a few weeks ago. Literally less than a month ago, she broke into the tech industry. So for those that are unaware of the title, you didn't get to see the title. She literally just got in the tech industry. These are always the best tech testimonies to listen to because you get to hear the story of not someone. It's really amazing to hear from somebody who's been in the industry for a while. But when you hear from someone who just recently got in the industry, you're able to hear about what's currently going on in the market, their current experience, what challenges they face, how they overcame those challenges, and so much more. So for those of y'all that are tuning in, we're going to talk about her story. I'm bringing her on in just a quick second. Just want to let you all know the program that she did is YellowTail Tech. I've interviewed many alumni from YellowTail Tech. I've said it before, one of the most quality tech programs, tech educational programs that are out there. They've won many awards, like actual awards for the quality of their program. So always excited to interview their alumni and any team members that come on. Just want to let y'all know within their program, they have Linux admin, cloud admin education, as well as just everything that encompasses DevOps. Want to let you all know they have automation trainings in their program. Now, within their automation trainings, that's currently included in the current tuition of their program. But literally, this is the last opportunity. The next cohort that's launching within less than 2 weeks is the last opportunity to be able to get the automation included in the program. After 2 weeks, it'll be completely separate. It'll be an additional investment. So make sure if you're interested in being in the DevOps space, this is one of the spaces that's completely protected, insulated from the AI and everything that's happening with robotics. If anything, it's growing because of it. If you are interested, make sure you take advantage of it. Make sure you hop on, listen to her story. Make sure it's a good fit for you. Make sure you're serious. If you are, definitely take advantage of the opportunity so that way you save yourself some money as you are getting in the tech industry. For those that are on Instagram, all you need to do if you're interested is comment Linux admin. I'm going to go ahead and make that a comment. I'm going to pin it for you. But on Instagram, all you're going to need to do is comment Linux admin. For those of you that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, all y'all are going to need to do is go to the description underneath the video and you will see a link that you can click on. All you have to do is click on that link and it'll give you access. Click on a link, it'll open up a separate tab, save the tab, or open up a separate screen so that way you can go ahead and schedule while you're listening to her story. Or y'all, as y'all will look in the comments, you'll see there will be a pop-up that'll come up roughly every 5 minutes. That'll have the link and it'll have the information to the exact same program she did to get into the tech industry. The whole purpose of these tech testimonies is not to make anybody depressed, not to make anybody feel bad. It is to inspire and educate. Both inspire and educate, hearing from everyday people like yourself who got in the industry, the hard work that it took, and the opportunity that's available to you. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and bring the guest on over on Instagram. Again, comment Linux admin if you're interested in doing the same program she did, YellowTail Tech. Those of you all on YouTube and LinkedIn, go under the description down below and you'll see the link that's there that you can click on. Henry, greetings from DC. Yeah, thank you, Henry, for kicking it off. Yeah, y'all, let me know where y'all are tuning in from, what city you're tuning in from. I'm in a place called San Andreas, Colombia right now. I'm in an island. I'm on an island, San Andreas, Colombia. So I'm here with y'all. I'm literally island vibes. I was touring the island and I stopped what I was doing to come back. Had a shower up, which I know it's hot out here. Had to shower up and hop on here with y'all. So look, I'm here with y'all. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know either what you're doing in the tech industry or what you're interested in doing. I see Kendrick Price from Columbus, Ohio is in here. We got a lot of people on here from all different platforms. LinkedIn's in the house, YouTube's in the house, Twitch is in the house, Instagram's in the house. Hey, look, y'all, let's go in. Let's make this a beautiful, beautiful opportunity. Have y'all questions ready because we about to get it going. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring the guests onto the stage. And that being said, Danny, thank you so much for coming on here. For sharing your testimony or being prepared to share your testimony with everybody. In the midst of a tornado, there's a tornado warning going on with her right now. For those that don't know.
Yep. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited about this. So look, let's go ahead and jump in because, for people that want to know, we'll go ahead and start with a quick snapshot. So what is it that you do in the tech industry? And how long have you been in the industry?
So I'm a junior Linux systems administrator, and I've been in for a few weeks. I got in April, like first or second week in April.
Yeah. So look,
New.
new. Man, new. Like what's that skating movie with T.I. and Lauren London?
Oh, ATL.
ATL. New.
No,
Like
roll
new.
bounce.
No.
Yeah.
ATL, you're right the first time. Yeah, don't second guess yourself. You're right the first time. All right. So you've been in a few weeks. You're a junior Linux systems admin. So roughly, how much does a entry level or a junior is entry level? How much on average, from what you've seen, does a junior Linux systems admin make up to the highest career earning potential that you've heard of or you've seen?
So a junior can make anywhere between 65 and 90K. And then it goes up to like a senior position, which is anywhere from like 110 to like 200K.
Yeah. Love it. So on the really low end, I haven't heard of anybody starting off in Linux under 75, 80K, but again, there's possible 65K on the low end is possible. But then up to, as you mentioned, the highest top is about 200, 210, somewhere around there as a I think the most I've ever seen a senior make is probably like 220, 230. But again, like so right spot on with your numbers. Love that. And then lastly, can you explain a little quick snapshot? You don't have to go too much into details. We're going to go into detail more later. Can you explain in a quick snapshot what is the day-to-day of your job? And I know you're only a few weeks in, so maybe you're not doing your day-to-day yet. I don't know, but based on what you know, what is, generally speaking, on a high-level overview, what is the day-to-day of the job of a junior Linux systems admin?
You can do anything from patching to user management. You could be on like the networking end of it. If somebody is having issues with their connections or things of that nature, but they don't really give juniors too much. So on a day-to-day, mostly just like user management or patching or something like that.
Okay, that's good. All right, so they don't give you too much work, but they give you a lot of money though. So we love it.
Yeah, and they expect for you, you know what I mean, to like link up with, mid-level and senior people. So you're learning, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just kind of linking up with different people, and they're kind of just showing me what it is that Leidos does to support NASA.
Okay, good stuff. Oh, okay. All right, now. So you're doing some cool stuff. So look, we're gonna delve into that a little bit more. Again, y'all, if y'all have your questions ready, make sure, if you don't have your questions ready, make sure you're getting your questions prepared, because as soon as we get finished with her story and hearing about the nuggets and basically getting through my questions, we're gonna shift over to y'all's questions. So make sure you are prepared with your questions, so that way we can get to them. So we're about to shift over and talk a little bit about her past and talk about what led up to her basically wanting to not just get in the tech industry, but specifically why she chose YellowTail Tech and why she chose the Linux systems admin path. But right before we do that, going to acknowledge a few comments that have come in from some of y'all. So we see literally somebody said currently studying information systems. So that's, definitely kind of in alignment. So you in alignment, you see the vision. All right. Got a few other roles. We got somebody tuning in from Jamaica. We got somebody from New Orleans, from Columbus, Ohio. Shouts out to DC in the house, Chocolate City, Orlando, Florida, Dallas. Okay, good stuff. Jay in here saying, I see you, girl. So happy for you. Yeah, very, very happy for you. Y'all, this is a beautiful moment, because again, even though we're here to gather information from her and to learn from her, there's also a celebratory moment of us celebrating that she just got in the industry a few weeks ago, y'all. So for those of y'all that are looking to get in the industry, y'all been praying, y'all been crying, y'all been working. Literally, let's celebrate our sister here who just entered into the industry and now is sharing gems and nuggets to be able to help everybody here out. So we love it. LinkedIn user says that's still a lot. Yeah, he's talking about the income. Yes, like on the low, if the lowest of the low is 65K, that's over the average. That's far over the average income of the average American. So let me know in the chat, if y'all love an industry where the lowest end, you still making more than the average earner in America. And honestly, I hate to say it, but we have to say it. What she named is the very lowest is still twice the amount of what the average Black person in America makes. So again, we see a lot of stuff on social media, people talking about $1 million this, $1 million that. Even myself, I talk a lot about six figures, six figures that. When we really boil it down and we're really honest, even on the low end, 65K, twice of what our community is making. And so beautiful, just beautiful to hear off the top. I see a few different things, a few different comments on Instagram as well. So a few different beautiful comments. All right, I see some people commenting, Linux admin. Looks like y'all are interested, definitely interested in tapping in with the same program she did to get in tech. All right, so look, let's go ahead and shift over. So Danny, you are, as you mentioned earlier, you're a Linux systems admin, junior Linux systems admin. You just started your role a few weeks ago. And for those that missed it, because I know people are tuning in different times, junior systems admin on the very low end, the very lowest is about 65K. Starting out between 65 to 90K. Mm-hmm. But the highest career earning potential is clearing over 200,000. So just to kind of give y'all perspective as to the opportunity in the space. Now, Danny, what exactly were you doing before you were even thinking about getting in the tech industry, let alone doing YellowTail Tech to get into the industry? What was going on in life, and how did that lead you to a moment of saying, you know what, I need to get in tech, or I need to like look into this tech stuff, or this Linux systems admin stuff?
I was an account manager with a security company. And really, COVID kind of opened my eyes. The COVID years, I'll say the COVID years, kind of opened up my eyes to my position, and I felt like the earning potential was limited because, I had been making the same thing since 2019. I wasn't seeing any changes. I was doing a lot for the company, and I wasn't shown. I don't feel like they fully appreciated, what I was doing and showed me that in a monetary way. And so I knew I didn't have a degree, and so I was kind of trying to figure out what direction that, I could go in. I remember in 2022, every single day, I would just be praying. I would go on my morning walks and I'll be praying to God, like, God, I just, open up the doors for me. I don't know what. I kind of knew that I kind of wanted to move into tech, but it was so broad. I didn't know where to even get started. And so my best friend's husband was actually going through during the kind of at the same time going through a Linux program, not YellowTail. And she was just kind of telling me about, his progression and everything. And I was like, wow, I'm like, what is he doing? What is he studying? She was like, Linux. I'm like, how do you spell that? I'm thinking LENNOX or something. You know what I mean? I was just totally like, unaware. And I remember going to their house for a baby shower. And he was just telling me about just how his life had changed, like work-life balance and just the earning potential. And I'd say he was preaching. I was like, I hear you. But at the same time, I wasn't really ready. I was ready, but I think I was scared. I really think I was just kind of scared. So he was just like, let me know, let me know when you're ready.
Can we pause real quick? Or could we delve a little deeper on that? So you say you were scared, because I think that might be a lot of people. What exactly were you afraid of? Like, what do you think was going on?
I mean, I was making cool money. I don't want to make it seem like I wasn't making any money. I was making cool money. So I think I was just nervous about either taking a step back, or just in general, just my life shifting. And I'm not really great with change. And so God has to handle me in a certain type of way, when it comes to change. And that definitely happened to me in 2022. And so, I was just scared to just take a leap of faith. It's really a leap of faith.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah. And so, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I know you mentioned you're an account manager before. I want to be clear because I know some people that are here, they hear account manager, and because my background in tech primarily, before doing what I do now, I was primarily doing tech sales. So when people hear account manager, they could think like, okay, you were in like tech sales. So you're not saying that you were in tech sales. When you say account manager, what was that like? I guess what did that actually look like?
Yeah. So I was working for a security company. So when you are an account manager with a security company, you're in charge of the entire account. So
Yeah.
I was launching sites, hiring people to fill those positions,
Yeah.
training them, getting all the training together, disciplinary action,
Yeah.
removals, termination, and then it's just a vicious cycle. It just
Yeah.
round and around and around and around. It's just
Oh my God.
it's never ending because security is just not it's not a sure thing.
What's
So
funny? I've never shared this online before. Because I talked about, for those that know my story, I went from being a Lyft driver. I always mentioned how I went from being a Lyft driver to doing a ed tech program like YellowTail Tech. And then that's how I got in the industry. I never talk about what I did right before I started Lyft driving. I was an account manager for a security company. It was my friend's security company. It's called Govern Security. It was my friend's security company. And I was the account manager. One of our biggest contract was with the Omni Hotel in Atlanta, Georgia. And I was over it. And around that time, at some point, eventually, my friend, they lost the contract. They lost a few of their contracts. The security company started to go in the dirt. Now, I want y'all to hear what I'm about to tell y'all. I've never shared this before. I've shared part of this story, but never this full story. That same friend who owned the security company, who was a good friend of mine, I don't say this in a bad way, when he wanted me to try to take over an account for a couple other contracts. And I told him, man, I'm burnt out. I said, look, no disrespect to you. I'm underpaid. I'm overworked. I said, man, I'm doing the work of somebody that should be at like almost an executive level. And I'm not paid nowhere. I'm paid like not a high wage. And he was like, so what are you going to do? And I literally told him, I said, you know what, man, I'm thinking about trying to get into the tech industry. He said to me, and this guy and I, we served together in the Marine Corps. Like, we knew each other. I introduced him to his wife, like the woman who ended up marrying.
Wow.
And again, I love him. He loves me. He meant well. But he told me, he said, Cyrus, that won't work for you. He said, I know you. He said, you're really smart, but the tech industry isn't for people like you. He's like, your mind doesn't work that way. You have to think a certain way. That just isn't you, Cyrus. And so fast forward, I started Lyft driving. 2 years later, got in the industry. And then fast forward, 2 years ago, he hit me up saying, hey, how can I get in the tech industry? And so again, so that's all when you shared that. I said, man, I resonate with that, being an account manager of security clients and how your work, like you're doing high level work.
Yes.
But hey, even though you're not paid McDonald's money, it's still nothing compared to like what you can make in the tech industry.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to take your thunder.
No. A lot of people don't even understand that. Like, they don't get it. Like, okay, come to security company. They don't really get it. You know what I mean? But yeah, you get burnt out. When I tell you, I promise you, every single day of 2022, I was walking and praying to God, like, I need something different. I got to get out of here. I need to, you know what I mean? And so going to their baby shower, and after that, he was just like, let me know when you're ready, let me know. So I was like, okay. And I kid you not, December is like the end of December, January, I got laid off from that security company.
Ooh.
Got laid off. And when I tell you, I was like, really, God? This is what you're going to do with me? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I pray, and it's crazy because when you think back on it, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, I prayed for this. But God just answers prayers in such a weird way, And so I hit him up first week in January. I said, I'm ready. Let me know what I got to do. And he was like, so we met up, and he just kind of asked me how I learned best and, what works for me. And I kind of tried to do a little something in 2021. Like I took a little testing online to try to see, where I would be, best fit in tech. And it was like web development. I remember I kind of started it a little bit and I was like, I can't do this. This is boring. I can't do this. There was no instructor. I had questions. I was like, nah. So that was one of the things that I told him, like, I definitely need an instructor. I have to have somebody who I can run my questions by, who can reword things that make it, simpler for me to understand, because I realized that I can pick up on softwares easy. So if you show me how to do something, new softwares, I can pick that up easy. But learning something completely new, like Linux, I was like, nah, I need somebody that's going to be in that thing with me, And so it took him like a week or two, and he was like, I have the perfect program for you. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah, it's called YellowTail Tech. And I'm like, okay. And so he sent me an email and he was like, hit him up, take a 10-minute call or whatever, and then call me back, let me know what you think. So I was like, okay. But at this point, I'm kind of on the desperate end, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, Lord, is this it? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I wasn't even, I was probably like 5 minutes in talking to her, and she was just she explained things so simply, and she was so welcoming, and she understood. I was door dashing at the time. I was, desperately door dashing. Like I was out there 12 hours just door dashing like crazy. Wow. I had put the thing on pause just to like have a little, 10-minute meeting with her, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I'm sold, I hit him up. I was like, I'm doing it, and it just kind of went from there.
Yo, that's so incredible. There's so much to unpack from that. One, I love how, I love how you were researching before the layoff even happened.
Yeah.
So I feel like what's interesting is that I feel as if like you're praying to God, because y'all know, like sometimes when we pray to God, because most of us, we're not walking around here like just hearing God's voice. Like it ain't like the heavens opening up and God's speaking. Right. And it's like God will speak to us in different ways, but then sometimes I feel like God makes things most clear when he kind of forces our path. Where he's like, look, I want to make sure it's going to be uncomfortable, but I want to make sure it's kind of dummy proof for you. I really want to kind of push you this direction in a way where not forcing his hand, but it's like to the point where it's like, okay, God, I don't even have a lot of the options, which are really distractions that I have before. And so it's like, it really puts us in a point. The beauty of it, not only does it put us in a certain path, like you mentioned, it puts us in a certain point of desperation as well. And
Absolutely.
So one of the passages I've been thinking about a lot in the Bible recently, there's a story of this woman in the Bible. I think her name is Rebecca. I'm really bad with it. I think it's either Elizabeth or Rebecca. It's probably Elizabeth in the Bible, where she's the mother of Eli in the Bible. And she was desperate for a child. Like she really wanted a child. And the Bible talks about how it was to the point year after year, she kept praying. But in one year, she was in a temple and she was praying so hard. It's like the Bible says the priest saw her and the priest thought she was drunk, because it's like to the point she was just groaning and just snotting up, crying. And the priest was like, yo, you don't come to the house of God, lit. You don't come lit. It's the wrong place for that.
All right.
Bible says like she turned to him and was like, yo, like I'm not lit. She was like, yo, I ain't had nothing to drink. She was like, I'm praying that hard because I seriously am at a point of desperation where I've been praying for this thing. And then I remember the priest said to her, he said, you know what? Like God sees, basically he sees how serious you are. He sees your desperation, he hears your cries. He said, God is going to grant you what you've been praying for. And so, and I believe sometimes, I'm going to be real, sometimes I see people that are interested in getting in tech. I'm going to be totally real with y'all. I have friends that I know. They hit me up about getting in tech. Half of them, I ignore their messages. I don't even respond to their text messages. The reason why is because I know I'm like, you ain't serious. Like to you, it's cute. To you, you're just thinking like, and I even know sometimes when they message, they like, yo, I'm trying to get a little extra money on the side. What's up with this tech stuff? I ignore them. I hit them back a week later when I want to talk about something else. And they be like, oh, you ain't see my message about the tech stuff? Like, you ain't serious. It's like you're not serious. And so, and I, like you, I was at a point where I was serious. I was like, yo, the funny thing, when I did a ed tech program to get in tech, there was no tech influencer out there. There was not one person that said, yo, Cyrus, let me take your hand. And again, I don't want to diminish how hard it is to still do it, even with somebody doing it. I want to be clear, y'all. Nevertheless, I just want to highlight when I did it, I'm gonna be real. I thought it was a scam. I said, yo, I don't even know if this ed tech, this boot camp stuff is legit, because I didn't see anybody else doing it. But I literally said this. I said, you know what? I'm so serious about this, and I believe God wants me to do this. I said, even if this program I'm about to do isn't even legitimate, I still have to do it, because I have, something has to change. Yeah. And praise God, ended up being legit. Everything worked out. Nevertheless, I think sometimes God, and I'm gonna be real, most of the people that I see that start getting in the industry, they're either people who are really fed up with their career. Usually a lot of nurses, a lot of realtors, a lot of truck drivers, a lot of teachers. They're fed up with their careers. They're either overworked and underpaid, or just overworked or just underpaid. They're fed up. Or I see people that have lost everything, or they don't have anything else. Those are the people that, honestly, when I see those people, I'm like, yeah, you're going to be serious about this. But when I see people where it's like they have a plush job, or they got, or they're influencers, they got options. Yeah, it's like, I'm like, man, you're not going to be serious about this. And so I love how you mentioned how you, like, God basically brought you to a point, like you were already fed up and tired, but then he took you to another level, which ironically the level was lower. Right. To a lower level for you to be like, hold up now. I already was ready right here. Now I'm right here. Right. Hold up. Woo. And that's where I heard a pastor say one time. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. I promise I'm not trying to preach, y'all. I heard a pastor say one time about y'all know one of the names for Jesus, one of the nicknames for Jesus is that he's called the rock of our salvation. He's a rock of our salvation. And for whether you're or not, you're a Christian, you're a believer, salvation in general just means being saved. It means being brought out of your situation. So however you want to look at it, if you want to look spiritually, metaphorically, however, take it how you want to take it. But I heard a pastor say one time, he was like, and I needed to hear this because this was literally when I really, really was desperate about getting into tech. I went to church. I was snotting up, crying. I was like, God, please save me out of this situation. And the pastor said, sometimes God needs to bring you to the valley. He needs to bring you to rock bottom. So that way, when you're in the valley, when you're at rock bottom, no one else is there with you but the rock of your salvation. But he's like, sometimes God needs to bring you low. So you, where you're like, yo, there's nothing else I can lean on but the rock that's here, which is Jesus. Come on now. So it's real. It's real. And so yeah, so I love your stories. I mean, it's got me going. I mean, I can tell people in the comments, it's got y'all going as well. We're gonna hear a little bit more from the story. I'm gonna jump into the comments. We're gonna acknowledge a few of y'all's comments, a few questions, and then we're gonna get back into her story. So that being said, for those of y'all that are tuned in and missed out, and again, we're gonna continue on her story, but for those that missed out that came in late, she's been in the tech industry now for just a few weeks. She just broke into the tech industry. She went from being an account manager for a security company, helping manage and oversee different contracts with a security company, lost her career, lost her job, was inspired to be a Linux systems admin to take YellowTail Tech, which is the program that she ended up doing. And literally just a few weeks ago, got her first job in the tech industry. Now, as a Linux systems admin, based on the numbers and examples she gave, and based on my own research and knowing people that are Linux systems admin, on the very low end, you usually will start out, let's say on average, you actually start out around like 80, 85,000 on the low end. I've seen some people start out at 95,000. I've seen some people start out at 75,000. But usually about 85,000 is where you start out, but your career earning potential scales over $200,000 in that space. And there's a lot of opportunity to move around where you're not necessarily boxed into one linear space. The reason why the industry she's in is so amazing, it's an industry that is not threatened by AI. It's one of the few industries. I did a top 5 tech industries to get into 2025 and beyond. And literally, she is in the cloud space or the DevOps space, which is one of the most secure industries that's only growing. It's on the up and up. So for those of y'all that are on YouTube and LinkedIn, you're interested in the same program that she did, it helped her get into tech. It has helped many other people. I've interviewed about 5 or 6 alumni from YellowTail Tech right now at this point. If you're interested in the same opportunities to help her get in the tech industry, for those of y'all that are on Instagram, all you need to do is look at the pinned comment and comment that pinned comment. If you're on Instagram, comment Linux admin. If you are on YouTube or LinkedIn, all you need to do is look at the description below this video. You'll see the link for YellowTail Tech, the link. And also, if you're on YouTube, if you scroll through the comments, you'll see I have a bot that's auto commenting. I want everybody to think about Transformers. I have a bot that's auto commenting the link for YellowTail Tech. Y'all can click on that link to be able to schedule a consultation with their team. Exact same process, exact same link that she was able to use to get into the program. Last thing I want to tell y'all, they are currently having a last call, and I'm looking over here at my notes to make sure I say this properly. They're having a last call for people that want to take advantage of the automation training that they have included into their program. Y'all know right now everything is about automation, whether we're talking AI, whether we're talking other forms of automation. Right now they have automation training included in their program, and that's going to be included for the cohort that's launching within less than 2 weeks. But if you wait until after 2 weeks, that will be something, it'll be separated, and it'll be something separate, an investment that you'll have to make. They have, I want to be clear that the YellowTail Tech, they have financing. So if financing is an issue, if your credit and stuff isn't all that good, I'm literally getting my credit fixed up right now. I just started getting my credit fixed up yesterday. So if your credit isn't good, whatever, they have opportunity for you. But again, make sure you are serious. One of the things I love about YellowTail Tech, they're not here for no get rich quick scheme stuff. They're not here talking about, oh, it don't matter, we gonna help you, boom, 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 bam. No, they're like, yo, you better, they want people that are ready to roll up their sleeves and put in the work, because they and their team roll up their sleeves and put in the work as well to help you out. But y'all, the opportunity is amazing, but you can't be a person where you just want to kind of just walk into money and it's like, no, you gotta be serious. That's why we talked about the point of desperation she was at, the point of desperation I was at, and many other people. So either you gotta be desperate or you at least need to be serious. That's really what it's about. So again, Instagram, comment Linux admin. If you don't know how to spell it, look at the pinned comment. I'm like, I don't know why I'm pointing down. Look at the pinned comment. On YouTube, you can scroll through the comment section. You'll see that we have our bot that's auto commenting for YellowTail Tech. It says if you want a career like hers in Linux, cloud, or systems admin, I recommend YellowTail Tech. Click the link to schedule a consultation. If you're on LinkedIn, all you have to do is look at the description down below. That being said, I'm about to address a few of y'all's comments, and then we are about to jump into more of her story so we can learn more from her. So first, I'm gonna check out a few comments from Instagram, a few comments, and then we are gonna jump over to YouTube and LinkedIn. Live like _ AB says, that's quite the story. I love to hear that from both of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, she has an amazing story. Amazing story. We got somebody just commented and said, I just signed up for YellowTail Tech. Congratulations. All right, y'all. So we got somebody that just signed up. Congratulations. Major congrats. Keep us posted on your journey. Hopefully I can interview you with your tech testimony in the future. All right. Whereas Jean says, I definitely agree with her. How should I break into tech? Any program suggestions? Yep. YellowTail Tech. Same program she did. Same one we're talking about right now. What's her Instagram? What you trying to shoot your shot? Trying to shoot your shot? Now let me chill out. You do look nice. Don't she look nice, y'all? Y'all give it up for her.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Skin looking lovely and melanated and whatnot. All that. I ain't mad at you. I see you. I ain't gonna call your name out, bro. I ain't gonna call your name out. Danny, are you willing to share your Instagram, or you want to keep that on the low?
Sure.
All right,
hit me up on LinkedIn.
There we go. Let's keep it professional. Keep it corporate.
Yeah, hit me up on LinkedIn.
Keep it corporate. Yeah, hit her up on LinkedIn. Can you type your LinkedIn name in the chat, and then I'll copy it and post it in the Instagram chat, which is where the person's comment came from. Okay. All right, cool. So Shani says, so true. Been in the tech world for 2 years now. Praise hands, flex. We love it. We love it.
Yes.
King Richard says that hit deep, brother. Hey, praise God. We here for it, bro. How does a person with a passion for tech but no income get started into tech? I mean, if you don't have any income if you don't have any income, like you don't make money at all whatsoever, start Lyft driving. Start DoorDashing. I was a Lyft driver. She was a DoorDasher. You don't need money to start doing those jobs, and you're guaranteed to get a job when you do those. It's not like, I mean, unless you got a crazy criminal record, that's some other stuff. But outside of that, you're guaranteed. You don't have to go and interview and stuff. You're guaranteed. So start doing that to make some money. Save up some of them coins on the side. If you have a little couple debts or whatever here and there, pay a couple of them off. I say give it a month, 2 months, and then sign up for YellowTail Tech. Again, they have financing. If you do Lyft driving or you do Uber or you do DoorDash, whatever, if you're serious about it and you really lock in, you can make at least about $800 to $1,200 a week. Now, that's not accounting for the gas you got to pay, blah, blah, blah. So when you boil it down, really you can make about $600 to some weeks up to $1,000 a week. Now, again, that's you working overdrive. That's you working at least 6 days, 10 hours, 12 hours a week. But again, you got to do what you got to do. I would say do that. Do the financing for YellowTail Tech. And then, of course, as you're going through the program, keep Lyft driving, or doing whatever you're doing, DoorDash and whatever. And then, of course, once you get your job in the industry, it'll be significantly easy to pay back the financing at that point. It won't even be a big deal at all. That's my suggestion. All right, cool. I see a few other comments. I want to make sure we stay on topic. All right, you can learn dev skills in YouTube or Google Academy. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Respect to the comments. Don't nobody. First off, don't try to become a developer in tech. It's 2025. The number one roles is getting laid off. Again, we got to talk about people that are getting laid off. People are getting laid off. A lot of layoffs are happening. The number one people that are getting laid off are developers. So the silliest thing to do, and I'm not calling the person silly, but the silliest thing to do is to go the silliest route to try to get in tech, which is just trying to learn on YouTube. That's the silliest route. But then also you're choosing the silliest job, not the silliest, I'm not gonna call it the silliest job in tech, but you're choosing one of the jobs where it just doesn't have a promising future. Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Tim Cook, Sam Altman, Bill Gates, and name your white billionaire in tech. They've all said developers are done data. If you hear the people at the very top that's hiring and that are determining the direction of the industry saying, hey, don't get this job, you probably want to listen. I don't think they're trying to trick us, y'all. I don't think they're trying to trick us. Shouts out to Jensen Wang. He's the only Asian in that category that I could mention who also said that. Don't go that path. Please don't go that path. And definitely don't go the path YouTube. All right, good stuff. So let's get back into it. Well, I'm gonna look at a couple comments from YouTube. I love how you love mentioning God. Everyone has a season, and this is your season, baby girl. Oh yeah, talking about exactly. Yeah, shouts out to Danny. Bringing up the Lords. All right, good stuff. Yeah, I'm an account manager now. PSP says I'm an account manager now, looking to break into tech. Hey, look at that. Perfect story. You're hearing from somebody who's a former account manager like yourself, who was looking to get in tech, and now she's in the industry. So definitely, if you're serious, if you're interested, definitely click the link. Talk to the YellowTail Tech team. All right, good stuff. All right, we got a lot of people in from Dallas. All right, good stuff. So, Nebaya, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, said last cohort will be available, or last cohort starts 5/27. Yep, literally 1 week from now. The next cohort starts 1 week from now. Yep, and Naba says, join me, I'll be there. Hey, so y'all gonna see Naba there. That's from the comment section. Good stuff. Zaina says, love to see this. Oh, that's beautiful. All right, look, y'all, we love it. Look, let's go ahead and get back into it. Again, y'all, make sure you're getting your questions ready and prepared, because After we finish with our story, we're going to get to y'all's actual questions. We're going to focus on the questions, not the comments, the questions, not the comments. And then we're going to wrap up. So if y'all got questions, start dropping them now. Start getting them prepared now so we can go ahead and get to them. For those of y'all that are just now tuning in and missed out, she went from being an account manager, helping establish different security contracts at different hotels. We're not talking cybersecurity. We're talking the other security. Establishing different security contracts at various hotels. I keep saying hotels. I'm thinking about my story.
You're right.
Security contract. That's my past. Security contracts for different businesses. Y'all see, she was so graceful. She ain't correct me. She was just sitting there like, okay, all right, I guess, all right. Anyway, different security contracts. She got fed up with that, wanted to get into the tech industry. Someone told her about the Linux admin space, which is booming and popping. She lost her job, got to a point of desperation, eventually went back to the person, said, okay, look, I really need some for real now. They told her about YellowTail Tech, the same program that I've interviewed many of their alumni at this point. The interviews are all on my YouTube channel. And so she did YellowTail Tech, and that's how she got into the industry. She put a lot of work in. She was consistent. She was dedicated. We're going to talk about a lot of that in a moment. But she did YellowTail Tech to get into the industry. Just got her job in the industry a couple weeks ago. And as a junior Linux systems admin, on average, a person that starts off in that role on average starts out roughly around 85,000, 85,000. On average, the highest career earning potential is about 200,000. It could be a little bit above that. It could be below that. We're talking senior level or maybe even principal level roles in that space. So amazing space that is secure when it comes to everything that's happening with AI, robotics, so on and so forth. It's only growing because of that. And so I promise y'all, when y'all look online and y'all see any like this company doing mass layoffs, that company doing mass layoffs, don't look at them saying they're doing mass tech layoffs. Look at what roles they're laying off. You're never going to see mass layoffs when they talk about Linux and cloud. That just ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen. So I've never even heard about layoffs happening in Linux and cloud in general, let alone mass layoffs. So again, just want to highlight that picture for y'all so y'all aren't missing out on amazing opportunities. For those of y'all that are interested in doing the exact same program she did, YellowTail Tech, if you're on Instagram, comment Linux admin. If you're on YouTube, LinkedIn, y'all can look at the description down below. Below this video, there's a description that has the link that's there. You can click on it and sign up with them. Or if you're on YouTube as well, you can just look at the comments. I have a bot that's auto commenting every few minutes the link for YellowTail Tech. So that way y'all don't miss it, because people be asking the next day, 2 days later, they be hitting me and my team up, hey, what's the link to the program? And it's like, you didn't watch the video. I said where the link is at. So that way I'm letting y'all know where the link is at. So good stuff. So let's go ahead and continue on. Love it. All right, so Danny, so let's, hold on. What just happened? It's the devil. How my light just shut out? Did all the power just go out? No, all the power ain't go out. What in the world is that? Okay, there we go. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I did something. I don't know. It's a lot going on over here, y'all. All right, so anyway, I promise y'all this ain't no liquor in my drink, by the way. It's actually electrolyte to bring the liquor down. Anyway, so let's continue on. So Danny, so you shared a lot about your story. You shared how you did YellowTail Tech. Now let's talk about what was your experience like with YellowTail Tech? What were some of the things you learned, layman's terms, in a way that like the average person that isn't in tech will understand it? And then let's talk about you actually getting in the industry. Like, what was the interview process like? You know, what was the grind like? And then lead us up to the moment that you actually got your offer letter.
Okay. So like you were saying about the financing, at that point, I desperately needed the financing. They kind of give you like a little test in the beginning just to kind of see where you are. The program is actually tailored to people who don't have any IT experience. But they do kind of give you a little test just to kind of see where you are. So she told me I did really well on that. And then she gave me some financing options. And thank God at that particular time, my credit score was, it hadn't taken that hit yet. You know what I mean? So I was able to, get the financing that I need. And then started the program. And it was challenging, learning something new that, that I've never learned about before, never even heard of. It was definitely challenging. I had a great teacher, amazing TA. They have so many resources for you where the TAs are there on the weekends. They have study sessions.
What is the TA?
They're just there to help the teacher. They kind of take attendance.
It's a teacher and teaching assistant.
Teacher's assistant. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay. No, you're totally fine.
Yeah. So yeah, the teacher's assistant. They're there to help you on the weekends after class. Sometimes they will stay over and kind of like, if you were kind of confused on something, or 5 minutes before, 5 minutes before our teacher would hop on, and so you could ask questions then. It was just, I felt supported throughout the program. There was a point in time where I did kind of fall behind, only because in my mind I was thinking I need to be door dashing, like I need to get this money, you know what I mean? And I kind of fell behind a little bit, and they reached out to me, just how can we support you, and they're constantly, trying to make sure that nobody falls behind. So I think that was also, a beautiful thing about the program. And I was able to catch up. There's so much grace, in it, that they understand, hey, I know you guys probably have families, you probably have jobs, you probably have, a lot going on in your life, so they give you grace, but at the same time, they want you to stay on track.
Yeah.
And so towards the end, they give you like a cert prep. Really, the core of the learning is just about Linux. It's not about anything else. You're not learning about any automation. You're not learning about anything but Linux. And it's really just to prepare you for that certification. And so you're learning how to create folders, directories, things like that, users. And it's very rudimentary, I guess I want to say, in that. And so, and then towards the end, you're going through cert prep. So the cert prep, and I would describe this program in three stages. So the beginning is you just learning Linux. There's a cert prep at the end, and they give you practice tests, and it's really kind of up to you. They let you know, hey, go get, certified as soon as possible. And so me and my little study group, we scheduled our test about 30 days out from the end of the program. So we gave ourselves those 30 days to kind of get it down. We were putting in like 12, 14-hour days. And, I was able to do that because of not having to work, So even with that whole situation, I mean, God was just so good. So much grace was given to me so that I could be able to really maximize this opportunity. Yeah. So 12, 14-hour days. And then it's interesting because we were all back to back, like one day. And I had to fly. I was living in California at the time. I had to fly to Denver. I had a DoorDash to get the money for the ticket. My best friend paid for me to get a hotel stay because I was doing a quick turnaround, like, there, next day back. And when I tell you the struggle was real. Yeah. And so going into that test, I was just like, Lord, I've been putting in all this work. I need you to cover me. And I think maybe like a couple hours after the test was done, I got the email that said that I passed. And I was just like, thank you, God. I didn't have to come because I can't, I couldn't afford to drive to get a flight back to Denver again. This is like, no. So I was able to, the following week, I was able to get into the apprenticeship and get started with that. And then that portion of it is you learning about the softwares, Ansible, Terraform, basically automation. You're learning about like backups, you're learning about troubleshooting your network. It's more so like, okay, you're certified and you know how to do things on the command line. So this is what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis with those skills. So really throughout that apprenticeship, you're learning something new every couple of tickets. You're learning something new and it's going fast. Yeah. And, they give you a time frame, but also there's grace in that as well. But you're wanting to get through those tickets and they kind of, there's somebody there to help you. There's people who are further along that can help you, if you're just starting out and everything. So yeah, that again was challenging because it's like something new and you're just like, wait, what is this? Whoa, but because you don't know anything about what it is that they're telling you to do, but you know the landline, and so at that point it's, do you know how to research? Do you know how to figure it out? Like, can you get on YouTube? Can you Google? Like, you're being taught to be resourceful throughout this. And so it's such a beautiful program because literally, as I'm, not to go too fast forward, but now that I'm in the role that I'm in, I see how that apprenticeship helped me for what I'm actually doing. Yeah. So it's huge. And then after you're almost done with the tickets, they take you into mock interviews. So they're prepping you, and you're building your resume. And one thing that I would like suggest to anybody that is thinking about going through and you get to that stage, record what it is that you're doing, screen record. So that way, when you are thinking back and going back, you can have the evidence, document. They talk about documentation, but you don't understand how important it is until you're doing the mock interviews and you're having to speak to your resume and you're like, oh, like, I almost forgot about what that was. You know what I mean? And so taking notes and documentation and recording yourself is major key. And then after you're done with your mock interviews, then at that point, you're going into the job hunt phase. And there's like a program that they get you on to sort of track how many interviews that you have, how many applications did you put in, how many rejections did you get, how many interviews did you get, so you can actually visually see your progression. And then you have the career coaches, and the career coaches they're meeting with you every week and they're talking to you. Hey, how's it going? How, they're keeping your spirits up, they're encouraging you, they're giving you different tips. Yeah. And then they had someone come in and talk to us about how to optimize our LinkedIn, what recruiters are looking for, you know what I'm saying? And how you can structure it to where, the recruiters, when they're looking for you, you're at the top of their search, and then how important it is to have those connections and to build out your network on LinkedIn. And then after that, it's really just you. I mean, the career coaches are there to help you. There's other people that are also job hunting with you, but it's about the work that you put in. And then also timing, because I feel like in 2024, I don't feel like a lot was moving. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like the hiring was kind of like slow during that time versus 2025, where I was getting hit up by recruiters like left and right. You know what I'm saying? So it was a timing thing as well, so yeah.
No, that's facts. A lot of people don't realize that the industry hiring definitely started to slow down in 2022. And it slowed down in 2022. The peak was 2023. It started to pick back up in 2024 a little bit, but the boom really happened. And we're not gonna say why, because people can get like a little emotional about it. It's a sensitive topic, but the boom really happened around the turn of this year, we could say. And I had a lot of friends that around the same week were like, "Yo." A lot of companies all of a sudden, because some events have happened, all of a sudden are now hitting us up with a lot of opportunities. So that's why I say, like, right now is such an amazing time to get into the industry, especially for specific roles like Linux.
Absolutely.
Like the Linux space. So I love it. It's amazing. So look, y'all, we're about to get to y'all's questions. I just have a couple more questions I have to ask. So when you were interviewing with the company, and they finally gave you your offer letter, can you talk about what your interview process was like with the company? What were some things that you were prepared for, or that YellowTail Tech helped prepare for you when it came to the interview? And bring us to the moment where you either got an offer letter, or I don't know if it was a phone call, but you explain like what that moment was like, what was going through your mind, your feelings, all of that.
Yeah. So I was reached out to by a recruiter on LinkedIn and also in my email. So I responded to her, and she basically just let me know about the opportunity. She was just like, there's a junior Linux systems admin role for Leidos supporting NASA. And can you send me an updated resume? And I was like, sure. We kind of had like a little chat. She just to basically see if, I knew what I was talking about type. And then talked to an account manager as well above her. Kind of gave me like a little pre-screen, and then they basically were like, the team that's going to be interviewing you, it's not going to be drawn out. It's just going to be like a one and done interview. If they like you, then cool. If they don't, then, there'll be another opportunity maybe type of thing. And so I was like, okay. And they reached out, set up an interview like later on that week. And it was it was chill. Like, I didn't really have to like, people ask me, did I have to do stuff like, on the command line or, demonstrate this, demonstrate that. It wasn't like that. It was really kind of like, let's go through your resume. Do you know how to do these things that you say you know how to do? And then it was kind of like personal questions, like professional, but like they were just trying to like see if I was going to be like a good fit for their team.
Yeah.
And so it was, some random questions like, if you could sit down and have dinner with one person, dead or alive, who would it be? Why? Ask, yeah. So I was just like, okay. So they kind of threw me, some questions, and then they asked me, of course, some tech questions, that were, like softball questions, you know what I mean? There was some stuff that they asked me that I didn't know, and I just kind of let them know, like, I don't really know, but I do know how to research. I do know how to find out, things on Google, YouTube. Like, I know how to do research. So whatever it is that you're asking me to do, I can figure out how to do it, and the guy really was just like, you're not going to know everything. He was like, and I appreciate you for not trying to like pretend like you knew. Like, he was just like, you're not going to know everything. And so he was like, but the number one thing is like, do you know how to find the answer? And he was like, you're just like me in that way, And so it was cool. We had a good, it was like a good conversation, you know what I mean? Where I felt like they were feeling me, And then he was just like, okay, it was like about 30 minutes. And he was like, okay. He was like, so yeah, we're going to reach out to the recruiter and, talk about you behind your back, type of thing. I was like, all right, cool. And then maybe about 30 minutes later, she called me and she was just like, hey, how do you think it went? And I was like, I mean, I feel like it went good. I was like, I got people praying for me and everything. She was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And I was like, yeah. She was like, you said praying for you? I was like, yes, I'm so serious. I need the prayers. And she was like, well, let me let you know that they loved you. She was like, they really liked your personality, even though they said you didn't know everything, that, you would be a good fit for their team and they would be happy to have you. And I was like, wow. Yeah. So that's kind of how I found out. Yeah. That I got it and everything. And then the offer letter came through and everything. And it just felt very surreal. Like, because it had been some time, you know what I mean? I finished the program in January 2024. And so that was, 15 months or something like that, where nothing, And so it's hard to kind of, so there were times where I thought, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Like, am I going to get in there? Like, but then I kept reminding myself, like, the way that God brought me through everything and literally took care of me through everything, like, he's not just going to bring me this far to like, for there to be nothing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so it was really like me figuring out, what am I going to do with myself in the meantime? I actually did join another boot camp. Which made me appreciate YellowTail Tech even more. So I'm not going to talk about the boot camp that I went through, but just drawing parallels. And I was like, yo, God, I really went through something very special. What they have created with YellowTail Tech is something that no one is doing. They have the formula. Wow. They have the formula. Yeah. And so, and I also want to add too, that this opportunity that they have added the Ansible thing to it, the automation, we did not have that. The thing that YellowTail Tech is doing they are constantly making changes to make it equitable for you, constantly evolving. What do you guys need? Even when we were done, they added the security plus situation after. So there was, we had already finished. They could have just been like, but they was like, listen, we understand that they're asking for this certification. So what we're going to do is we're going to put together something for you guys. We're going to create this program. We're going to, you know, I don't know if I could, they gave us vouchers. I don't know if I can say that, but you know what I'm saying? They hooked it up. You know what I'm saying? So that was something for us. And now that they've added this automation, I'm like, why wasn't y'all doing that when I went through? This is huge. This is huge because people don't understand automation is part of our jobs. You know what I'm saying? So if you can get that for the free, like it's so valuable, so valuable. So yeah, that I just have like a really deep appreciation for Juby and Paloma for following God and creating this program because they literally changed people's lives. Like I moved, like I left California because I was just like, this is not the place for me anymore. You know what I'm saying? I was doing research on where I could make the most money and live, you know, a comfortable life. You know what I'm saying? And moving out here to Huntsville and getting this opportunity, I wouldn't have gotten this opportunity had I stayed in California. So it's just like everything that they have done really just alters people's life completely. So I would just encourage anyone who is thinking about whether or not they want to join this program, commit, get serious, and go all in. Like go all in. Just bet on yourself because it's literally life-changing.
Yo, that's beautiful. That's so beautiful. We got some crying emojis from Patricia, like the happy crying emojis from Patricia in the comments. Yeah, no, that's incredibly beautiful. I love how you said that. I love how you mentioned that after you went and did another program, and it actually made you appreciate YellowTail Tech even more. And that's one of the things I oftentimes tell people is how it's like doing a quality program. Because a lot of programs that are out here, not all of them are quality. And I put YellowTail Tech at the very top of the heap of like quality programs in terms of the way they handle things. And honestly, it's not just the program, but it's more so the founders of the program. You can really see the heart of, like you mentioned, Juby and Paloma, who are the founders, and the way that they treat their team, the way they handle things is just a certain level of quality. I look at Juby personally, and Juby, for those of y'all that know, he's the founder of YellowTail Tech. I look at him as like a bit of a big brother in the industry and in the space. I take a lot of advice from him. Just the way that he moves, the way he handles things is incredibly professional, incredibly luxury, and just really good overall. And so, so definitely, so I concur with everything you said. The other piece that I love that you said, I don't know if y'all caught this, when she mentioned her interview process with the company, the two main things they seemed to focus on was, yes, they cared about her technical aptitude, but a huge portion, probably even the majority of what they cared about, was if she was a good culture fit, if they liked her, if they enjoyed her. And that's something I mention very often. It's like in this industry, it's really three things they look for. Two of them reign supreme, but let's say three. One of them is, okay, if we hire you, are you actually going to are you going to show up, do the job, even if it's virtual? Are you going to show up? Are you going to stay at the company for at least hopefully a year, 2 years? Or are you going to get hired and then quit 2 months later? So one, they care about, okay, are you a trustworthy person? Are you a person who's dedicated to your work? But the other pieces they look at, and of course, if you look at her LinkedIn, look at her resume, you can tell, okay, she's a pretty loyal person. She don't just be hopping around. But the other things that they look at are, okay, do you have the skills? And not just on paper. Notice she mentioned they probed her on the things that were on her resume. That's why I tell people all the time, you can't just get a bunch of random certifications or just try to like slap some stuff on your resume and think you're going to be good. No, they're going to probe and they're going to find out you're going to get exposed. You can't watch a YouTube video. You can't watch a 1 hour video, learn a few buzzwords and think like, okay, cool, I'm good to finesse my way. You can't finesse your way. Not today. You just can't do it. But it's like you have that. So one, they looked at the technical, but the heavy thing they kept talking about is like how they like her, they enjoyed her. Even those other questions like If you could go have dinner with anybody who's ever existed, who would it be? Questions like that are like them kind of really filling you out as a person and feeling like, yo, does the team want to work with you? You know, and so that's why it's important that you're having the right mindset as you are working on entering into the industry. And so one thing I should have mentioned as well is that you get the necessary certifications you need for the industry through YellowTail Tech. So again, a lot of people that are like, oh, do I need to get this cert? Do I need to get this cert? No, you can literally start raw and they will help you with what it is that you need when it comes to getting into the industry, making sure you are fully prepared, especially right now as they have the automation that's currently included in the package. But that's only going to be here for roughly the next week or so because their next cohort is about to start in less than 2 weeks. So literally, if you're serious and you want to take opportunity of that automation opportunity, she didn't even have herself that's included into the program, but she mentioned it's something that's important to the industry. Make sure y'all tap in sooner rather than later. On Instagram, comment Linux admin. Y'all can see the pinned comment that's there. On YouTube, y'all can look at the comment section and y'all see the automation that mentions YellowTail Tech. You can click on that link, or like people on LinkedIn, y'all can both look at the description down below and you will see the information for YellowTail Tech. That being said, we're about to go ahead and shift over to a few of y'all's questions, and then we are going to jump off. So if you got some questions, you haven't dropped your question yet, go ahead and drop your question. Go ahead and drop it. Because after we get through most of these questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So let's see what questions I see in here. I would like to network with you, Danny, on LinkedIn. What's your profile name? I think, did you drop it in the chat earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my bad. Because I sure didn't stop and copy it. Now, where'd you put it at? I will try to. Where is it at?
I put it in the studio chat.
Oh, the studio.
Yeah.
No, you're talking fine. That's perfect.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and is it literally just like this? Danielle Danny Cook on LinkedIn?
And then the link, I put the link underneath too.
Okay, cool. So I don't know if the link will be clickable on YouTube. So I'll just put your name.
Okay.
So yeah, so there it is. I just put it in LinkedIn as well. Danielle Danny Cook on Instagram. All right, cool. All right, I want to ask, is self-studying for Red Hat hard by yourself?
The program sets you up for what is going to be on the certification. So they give you practice tests. So you're just really going through the practice tests. You can do it with a group or you can do it by yourself. I haven't studied it outside of the program, so I wouldn't know. But the program itself gives you exactly what you need to pass the certification. So it goes from easy, medium, and then difficult. And you're just cycling through. Like I said, me and my study group, we were putting like 12, 14-hour days, and we would just cycle through the practice tests. And once, and also they kind of let you know, like when you get into the environment of the certification tests, they kind of let you know, like you're troubleshooting, like from the very beginning, like the whole thing is really a part of the test. It's a test that I've never taken anything like it before. It's hard to really describe, but it's immersive, and it's not something that you can read through. It's not something that you can read a book and study and think that you're going to pass. It's not like that at all. It's very hands-on. So, yeah, go through the program, man. Go through the program. They set you up. They definitely set you up.
Fresh Prince of Ghana. I'll answer this, and if there's anything you want to add to it or take away from it, please do. The question is, he says, if you have a Security Plus and the Red Hat certification, do you need to go through YellowTail Tech Bootcamp? I'll say it this way, Fresh Prince. If all someone needed was a Red Hat certification and a Security Plus, YellowTail Tech would just teach you what you need for the Red Hat and the Security Plus, and that's it. And that would make the program significantly shorter, but also it would not make it as valuable as what it is. No, if all somebody needs are those to get a job, then it'll be a lot easier to get in this industry. So
you have it already.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, so you definitely need it. I can't tell you, Fresh Prince, the number of people I run into at conferences. When I go to conferences, people come up to me, they're like, yo, I got this certification, what do I need to do? You need more than a certification. A lot more than a certification. And so, but I would love it if you can expound on that, Danny. If somebody's like, hey, I got this certification, what am I missing or what do I need to do?
Yeah, I want to say during the interview process, I mean, they saw that I had a Red Hat certification. They saw that. They didn't really touch bases on it too much, though. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so and even when I was talking to recruiters, they were like, that's good. That's good that you have that. Yeah. They're like, that's good, but but yeah, you definitely need more than that. And I feel like, each part of it is valuable. I couldn't say which one is more or less valuable, but I will say that apprenticeship prepares you for the job.
Mm-hmm. So,
you wouldn't, obviously you need to have the certification. Obviously you need to know what you're doing on the command line. That's like basic. That's like, bottom level, you know what I'm saying? But, it's just so many things that you're learning in that apprenticeship that, you would be cheating yourself if you, just didn't go through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have those other certifications, great. But yeah, go through the program for sure.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so a question we got over here on YouTube. R.E. Bradley says, what course did you take? The specific training, please.
The Linux for Jobs? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what he's asking. Like, so not just which is the ed tech program, but like what specific course from theirs did you do?
So I believe they only have two. One is Cloud for Jobs, and the other one is Linux for Jobs. So they only offer two. And I took the Linux for Jobs. Honestly, I didn't know which one to take. The Linux one was shorter. The program was shorter. And then when she kind of explained it to me about how Linux is a part of Cloud, like you need it, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, well, I'll just do the Linux, you know what I mean? And then I can learn Cloud later. Yeah. I felt like the Cloud program was a little bit more advanced.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, all right, good stuff. Going to Columbus State Community College for cybersecurity now. Let's do it. Have you started already? I'm not the right person to say that to. I will straight up discourage you. I would discourage you. And let's move on.
I took a cybersecurity boot camp. I wouldn't advise it.
Yeah. And it was you did one at a technical college, right? Or a technical school?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was about to say that, but I was like, y'all probably gonna think I'm just hating. She literally is living proof. So y'all say that all the time. Y'all see I don't be capping when I say stuff. I do not be capping when I say stuff. I say this stuff because I run into a lot of people. I can't tell y'all the number of people that have degrees on degrees that come to me and they like, yo, I can't get an interview. Like I got my degree 6 years ago. I can't get nothing. I ain't worked in the industry. I'm trying to tell y'all. But again, good comment, good question. Happy that you commented that because it gave us opportunity to address it. Yes, using my GI Bill. I would encourage you, see if you could use your GI Bill towards an ed tech program. I would encourage you towards YellowTail Tech, because even though we're talking Linux, that is a pathway into the cybersecurity space. Mm-hmm. You can work at a cloud security company. Overlaps. That's cloud and security. It overlaps with cybersecurity. It's a lot of opportunity. Cloud and cybersecurity are like, they're low key like, I ain't gonna say yin and yang, but they're like they work very close in hand because everything is in the cloud. This stream that's happening right now, when this stream ends, it automatically gets saved to the cloud. All of our photos on with our iPhones, Android, you know, when your photos get saved or stored in the cloud, that's cloud. That's Linux. That's like all the stuff we're talking about. You know, whether we're talking Instagram, the photos that are on our Instagram pages and the videos, they're not stored. Instagram isn't storing them. Instagram is using a cloud service. They're either using Microsoft Azure, AWS, Google Cloud Services, or Google Cloud Service Provider, something like that, or they're using some other company or some other type of cloud service provider, and they're storing our photos and videos in the cloud. The cloud is huge. Every company, everything that if any of y'all start a business right now, any business you start, even if you create a Google Doc and you save that Google Doc, it's not getting saved on your computer. It's getting saved in the cloud. If you have a Dropbox, saved in the cloud. Everything is cloud. Now, on the reverse, the cloud, everything is stored, but now you need security. It needs to be secure so people can't hack it, so people can't steal the stuff that's in the cloud. So that's why the cloud and the cybersecurity space go hand in hand. And so, so I would definitely encourage you to look into it. You said, do they accept the post 9/11 or the GI Bill? I mean, yeah, I would just say contact their team, hit them up. Yeah, just have a conversation with them and check and see. One thing, listen, y'all, one thing I would tell you about YellowTail Tech, their team is not going to try to force or finesse you to do the program. If they know you're not going to be able to do it, or they know like your situation or something isn't going to work out, they're not going to try to make you do it. Like, that's not what they here doing. It literally was a couple people in the chat that said, yeah, I tried, but they told me that I can't do their program because of whatever the reason was. So they're not going to, they're here to really help you. They really help you out. Another thing about YellowTail Tech, I've said this before in the past, they don't want people who just want a get rich quick. One thing Juby told me, he said, Cyrus, whenever you're telling people about YellowTail Tech, please don't ever mention 6 figures and YellowTail Tech in the same sentence. Now, he didn't say that because you can't make 6 figures. I've interviewed people at YellowTail Tech that make 6 figures. He said it because, and I want y'all to hear his heart. He said, Cyrus, I don't really like the kind of people that attracts, because he realizes so many people on social media have gotten so manipulated by hearing 6 figures, 6 figures, 6 figures. And again, I talk about 6 figures all the time. I want to be very clear. But he was like, I don't want to draw in people that feel like they've been promised for so long a guarantee of 6 figures that they don't really have the mindset of, okay, I need to be ready to put in the work. I need to like make sure that the work I'm putting in is serious, that I'm consistent, that I'm patient, and that even if I get something that's 85,000 starting out, 80,000 starting out, I have a heart of gratitude and I have an understanding that I can scale further in this industry. So he is the only ed tech founder that's ever told me that before. And he stood on that. And I've even told him, I said, bro, Juby, I could probably excite more people if I tell them that you can make this much in this space. He's like, yep, but don't do it when you're talking about YellowTail Tech. And again, that shows a certain heart and a certain mindset. Because y'all know, it's people out here, it's marketers out here, and I'm a marketer. I love marketing something that I think will help people. I go crazy marketing stuff that I think is going to help people. And so, but y'all know, it's people out here that big stuff up. They overpromise, underdeliver heavily. So that's one of the things I love about YellowTail Tech. They prefer to underpromise and overdeliver on what it is that they do. So y'all, so look, we about to get to a couple more questions, then we're gonna wrap up. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm wrapping up my stream right now. Skills currently. Thanks for this convo. Hey, thanks for tuning in. AB says, with the apprenticeship, did you work with partner companies or just within YellowTail Tech only?
I know that they support different companies. We weren't really told about like what all, who all we were supporting. We just kind of took in the tickets, as they came in and worked on them. So that's what I'll say about that. Am I coming through clear?
Yeah, you're good. It's probably me. It might be on my end.
Okay.
Let us know in the chat. Can y'all hear us? Are we good? Can y'all see us? Is everything fine? Please keep us on the straight and narrow. But to answer the question, to kind of elaborate, yes, she was doing tickets. You're doing work for companies, businesses, but you don't businesses which that is for. And so yeah. Is Linux for jobs?
I think I lost you.
Okay, see you. All right,
We
can you
good?
see me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Linux for jobs what?
Is Linux for jobs competitive in the job market? I'm not sure what that question means, but maybe you understand it.
I mean, Linux is the basis of everything. So it's, it's like the ground floor of everything. It's like Linux is like, if you know Microsoft, like say you're working on Microsoft, your Windows computer, Linux is like that, you got the iOS, you got Apple, you got Windows, and you got Linux. So most of government, most companies, everything is based in Linux because it's just like way more secure. You can't really hack it. It's just bare bones. And so it's just a valuable skill because a lot of people don't know how to do it, So
incredibly valuable. All right, looks like I'm the one that's freezing up, not you. So yeah, y'all know I'm in the islands right now. I'm an island boy.
I'm jealous.
No, I'm in San Andreas right now, y'all. So J5.official, should I get my Network Plus first? No, you shouldn't. You could just do YellowTail Tech. All of the certifications and stuff you need, they're gonna help you get it through their program. They're gonna set you up, and they provide, in certain cases, they provide vouchers to help you out when it comes to paying for those certifications. So don't pay for the certification and then do the program that would have helped you pay for the certification and helped you pass the certification. Just do it all in one shot together.
It's tailored for people who have little to no IT background. So you don't really have to come in with all of these different certifications or all this knowledge. And honestly, it's better if you don't, because the cohort that I was in, there were so many people who did so many different things. They're trying to wrap their brain around what we're learning, but they've learned so many other things, or they learned it so many different ways. It's hard for them to grasp, to put all that learning aside and just accept what they're teaching you and how they're teaching it to you. So it's actually better that you don't, have any little to no IT background. Is better that way. That way you can just accept it.
Yeah. Last thing I'm gonna say, I'm seeing a few people pop up with a few other certifications. I'm gonna be real, y'all. I don't know what happened. I don't know when this certification wave became a big deal. I might have missed the certification wave. I don't know why we put certifications up on some pedestal. I hear y'all mention certificate, like a certification is not going to get you the job. I see quite people asking, what about this cert? What about that cert? Listen, the program gives you what you need. That should be the only thing. Are they going to give me what I need to get into the industry? When we start asking questions like, okay, but do they give you this? Do they give you that? Now it's like we're losing the focus. I'm gonna be real. Your focus shouldn't be getting a specific education or specific cert. Your focus should be getting what you need to get the job.
Mm-hmm.
I have zeros to this day. I have 0 certifications. Now, specifically, what I'm doing is not in that space. It's not in a Linux space. Now, let me be clear. I have like a little minor Salesforce certification, but whatever. I don't have all the certifications y'all mentioned. I've never studied for them. And by the grace of God, I've been blessed to make more money than most people, at least entry to mid-level in the tech industry. And so now, again, the certifications are valuable. Like she mentioned, they asked her, do you have this, sir? Do you have that, sir? They said, oh, yeah, we see you have it on your resume. Cool. They asked her a little bit about it. Okay, that was it. They moved on. But we can't make it the end all be all where we're like, oh, snap. Do they have this? Do they have that? It's all a distraction. Do they have what it takes to help you get a job? That's what really matters. Whatever certifications they do and don't have, that's what you need. Because one thing I'll promise you, I know people who've done programs where the program was not that quality, but they got a lot of certifications and they ain't got no job 2, 3, 4 years later. So stop focusing on things that sound cute. People all day say, oh, you could do this and get this cert. No, don't tell me what I could do to get a cert. Tell me what I could do to get a job. Let's be real. That's what we want to hear, not some cert. And so that's like, online, people be like, oh man, if you do this and do this, you can attract you a baddie. Yo, am I going to attract me a wife? Like, what are we talking about? Yo, ladies, if you do this, you get you a rich man. A rich man for what? For the weekend or as a husband? So we have to think long term. We can't think about, okay, am I going to get this little thing? Or are we going to get this long-term value? You have to think long-term. Yeah, Justin said, I'm tired, Grandpa. He said, I'm tired of all these certs. Exactly. I feel you. I love it. Love it. So, last, probably not last question, but I'll get to it. Someone says, do you work remote?
I'm in a hybrid role. So 2 days a week, I go on base. And then for the other 3 days, I'm at home.
Love it. Oh, yeah, you did say you're in Huntsville. Now I'm starting to connect a couple dots now. I'm connecting.
Now I work on the Arsenal.
Redstone Arsenal. When I was in the Marine Corps, I was at Redstone Arsenal.
Really? Man, I still don't know how big it is. They got street lights in there, streets. It's huge. I'm afraid I'll get lost. It's huge.
You know what's funny? Huntsville is huge, but Huntsville is one of the smallest military bases. People don't realize military bases are huge. Like they're the size of cities. Like they're the size of big cities. And people that live in those cities don't even realize they have another city next to them that's a military base. They just think like it's like a little small town. Military bases are massive.
Wow.
Massive. Good stuff. All right, look, y'all. Listen, if y'all missed out on her story, she went from being an account manager, specifically with a security company, not cybersecurity, traditional security company where she was helping manage certain accounts, was interested in getting in the tech industry because she was overworked, paid good, but still underpaid, wanted to make more, wanted to have better opportunity in the tech industry, wanted to get into the Linux space, ended up losing her job, truly believing like, okay, God was like directing her because she was praying about it, lost her job, got suggestion from her friends to do YellowTail Tech, the same program that I've told y'all about many times. I've interviewed many of their alumni and instructors who are all in the industry. She did YellowTail Tech to get into the industry and just got her job a few weeks ago, literally just started at the company that she's at. She just did a phenomenal job sharing her story and testimony, answered a lot of different questions about the insights that helped she got through the program to help her land her role. Now, listen, y'all, YellowTail Tech is a program. They have a lot of different awards for the quality of their program. And I'm being like legit. They've won awards because need from the certifications. If you're somebody who has little to no experience, they're able to help you out when it comes to being able to scale into the industry. And on average, people that start out in the type of role that she's in, entry level on average are starting out about $85,000, $80,000. I've seen some people start out. $5,000. It looks like anyway, you can make up to over $200,000 as you scale in this industry and space. For those that are interested, if you're on Instagram, look at the comment, the pinned comment Linux admin, and the automation is going to do what the automation do. It's going to send you the information in your DMs. For those of y'all on LinkedIn and Instagram, all you have to do is look at the description down beneath the video and click on the link that'll redirect you to open up a separate tab for YellowTail Tech. That's specifically a discount link tab. So one, you'll get a discount link. If you decide to sign up, you'll be able to have a consultation with their team. But also, again, y'all, what I mentioned is this is the last time for the next, up until their next cohort, which starts in less than 2 weeks. This is the last time. There's a last call for people that want to take advantage of the automation training that they have included in their program. After this, they're going to separate it. It's going to be a completely separate or additional investment. So save your money, take advantage of this opportunity. She didn't have access to this automation training when she did YellowTail Tech. It's something that they recently added since she finished the program. But she mentioned earlier the value of having this training. So make sure y'all click the link, have that conversation with the team. If you're serious about getting in the tech industry, YellowTail Tech, the cloud space, Linux space is hands down, bar none. It's top 2, and it might not be 2 when it comes to being in the tech industry right now. So definitely check it out. Keep me posted. The only thing I ask y'all in return is that for those of you that do YellowTail Tech, you get in the industry, I just ask that you spin the block. Let me know. Say, hey, Cyrus, I'm in the tech industry. Thank you. Give thanks to Danny as well for her story. And hey, come on, share your testimony to help other people as well. It's called Tech Testimony for a reason. So that way your testimony could be the story that will unlock other people's faith and other people's inspiration of what they need to get into the tech industry and transform their lives. Outside of that, Danny, I want to leave the floor for you to give one last statement, one last piece. You share your heart, something you want to share with the people, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up.
I mean, I feel like I've said everything. I feel like I let y'all know everything. Just if you are on the fence and you're not sure, I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn where people are saying, I don't know whether I should do it or not. I guess it just, do you really want it? What is your why? And then just go full throttle. Don't give up. I went through the program with people who quit halfway through, people who got to the end, but they didn't get certified and they just kind of gave up there. People who went through the apprenticeship and, after the mock interviews and everything, they just kind of gave up. People were asking for their money back because, they don't believe in the program type of thing. It's about your commitment to the process. And so it's really great to hear when people cross the finish line and get jobs and stuff like that. And it's very inspiring, so that's why I'm really happy to be doing this with you, and just really grateful for YellowTail and the opportunities that they've given me. And just go for it.
I love it. Hey, look, y'all hear it. It's about a separation between those that are serious, that really want that life change, really want to get in the tech industry, versus people who are not serious, or people who are not at that point where it's like you really see the opportunity for what it is and you take the opportunity that's in front of you. So definitely, if you're one of those people similar to Danny and others who I've interviewed that are in the industry because of YellowTail Tech, make sure y'all tap in with them, take advantage of the discounts and all the other stuff, so that way it can help y'all get into the industry and you can save some coins. Other than that, y'all, I love y'all very much. Danny, thank you for coming on, sharing your testimony, beautiful story. An amazing job. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful evening. Again, I'm out here in the islands. I'm an island boy. I'm about to hop into this other meeting I got, and then I'm about to go out on some boat, and I'm going to be out on the islands.
Hey.
All right. I love y'all. All y'all have a blessed and beautiful evening.